Come on, everyone. Drink as much as you like. Hurry up. Don't keep your wife waiting. A moment of night is worth 1,000 gold pieces. Then I'll excuse myself first, everyone. Enjoy your wine. The bedroom door was covered with a layer of red paper cutouts, large red happiness characters plastered all over the white walls, and a nearby celebration candle burned quietly, casting a warm glow. The red bed drapes were gently folded behind the scene. A person was sitting upright before the large red wedding bed, the wide wedding robe hiding the hands resting on the laps. The silver longevity lock on the chest glimmered in the candlelight, and the engraved patterns on it were faintly visible. A strand of hair draped over the big red veil, hanging down to the soft waist. The person who entered the room saw this and couldn't help swallowing saliva. Then he quickly strode to the bed, impatiently grasping the bride's shoulder, saying, "Your husband is here. It was lively outside, and I had a bit too much to drink. Have you been waiting long, dear?" Without waiting for a response, he reached out his hand through the red veil to caress the face of the person he had been longing for day and night. The person under the veil obediently lowered the gaze, stray hairs from their forehead covering the charming peach blossom eye. But before any further action could be taken, a slender arm wrapped around the neck of the person in front, pressing a talisman onto him. Bang! The person instantly transformed into a rabbit. "What the heck?" Wei Wuxian removed the red veil in front of his eyes and casually placed it aside. Glancing at the rabbit, he joked with a smile. A fat rabbit trying to get married like a human. Wei Wuxian's gaze swept around the bedroom and landed on the small wine cups in front of the wedding candles. He got up, took the wine cup, tilted his head, and drank it down. After finishing, he remarked, "I have to say, the preparations were quite thorough." The rabbit beside him rubbed its furry head against Wei Wuxian's foot a few times. Then, looking up and staring intently at the other cup on the table, Wei Wuxian laughed and said, "What? You want a drink too?" The rabbit rubbed its head against him again, seemingly answering his question. After rubbing, it started to climb up Wei Wuxian's leg. Wei Wuxian picked up the rabbit, holding it in front of his chest, and brought the other cup to its front. "Here, your wine." The rabbit extended its tongue and licked the wine, seemingly finding the taste quite enjoyable. In no time, it had finished all the wine in the cup. "You sure have a good drinking capacity for a rabbit." The door behind him was gently pushed open and then closed. With one hand supporting his chin, Wei Wuxian asked, "All done outside?" As Lan Wangji spoke, he didn't take his eyes off Wei Wuxian's face, as if he hadn't seen him in ages. After a while, his gaze shifted to Wei Wuxian's big red wedding robe. Wei Wuxian pretended not to notice his gaze and continued. Resolute as always, Hang Wangjun. "Are the guests outside also rabbits?" It looks like we've really stirred up a rabbit nest." Wei Wuxian was curious why Lan Wangji didn't respond to his remark. When he raised his eyes, he saw Lan Wangji carefully staring at the empty wine cups. After a moment of silence, Lan Wangji asked, "Wei Ying, did you drink the wine?" Wei Wuxian stood up and refilled their wine cups, tracing the rim of his cup slowly and deliberately with his fingertip. Looking up, he asked, "What, are you jealous?" Lan Wangji didn't respond, simply lowering his gaze slightly, avoiding eye contact. Wei Wuxian chuckled softly, holding the wine cup to his lips, and said in a gentle, coaxing voice, all right, I'll only drink with you, okay?" Lan Wangji rarely smiled, and even Wei Wuxian could count on one hand the number of times he had seen him smile. But this time, he caught the fleeting upward curve of Lan Wangji's lips and a faint smile emanating from his deep voice, leaving Wei Wuxian momentarily stunned. "Lan Zhan, drink." Wei Wuxian looked at their intertwined wrists and smiled. "Don't be too hasty. Be careful not to spill." He then brought the wine cup to his lips, gazing into Lan Wangji's light-colored eyes, seeing his own reflection in them. He tilted his head slightly and drank the wine. The sweet taste was something he felt he would never tire of in this lifetime. "Wei Ying, Lan Wangji grasped the hand that was placed on his chest, taking the wine cup from him. Holding the back of Wei Wuxian's neck, he gently pressed him down, causing their long black hair to spread out over the red bedding. Lan Wangji, after pressing Wei Wuxian down, made no further movements, pressing heavily against Wei Wuxian. Wei Wuxian tried to gently push him a few times, but got no response. With a soft sigh, he said, "Just fell asleep like that? Lan Zhan, you shouldn't try to show off if you can't handle your drink." After pushing him off gently and laying him securely on the bed, Wei Wuxian picked up the red veil and placed it back over his head, quietly waiting for his groom to wake up. After a while, Lan Wangji slowly opened his eyes. Wei Wuxian jumped up excitedly. "Lan Zhan! Lan Zhan! Wake up! Look, we're married now. Lan Zhan, aren't you happy? Aren't you excited?" Grasping his hand, Wei Wuxian brushed it over his own red veil, enticingly saying, "Lift the veil, and I'll be yours." With long fingers slowly reaching out, Lan Wangji lifted the red veil completely. "All right, mine." Lan Wangji then leaned forward, covering Wei Wuxian's soft lips with his own, pressing him back down forcefully onto the bed. His tongue skillfully parted Wei Wuxian's teeth, slipping inside. The lingering taste of wine filled his mouth. As Wei Wuxian was being passionately kissed, muddled, he remembered there was still unfinished business and pushed at Lan Wangji with both hands. "Wait, wake up! Outside!" Lan Wangji's body settled between Wei Wuxian's legs, preventing him from finishing his sentence. Lan Wangji sealed his mouth with a fierce kiss. Unlike the gentleness before, his kiss became more aggressive, biting down on Wei Wuxian's lips until they bled, then licking them before plunging in again, prying open his now relaxed jaw. His tongue untamed as it ravaged Wei Wuxian's mouth, delving even deeper while Wei Wuxian was distracted. Wei Wuxian struggled hard to push Lan Wangji's lips away, barely creating an inch of distance, gasping for breath as he said, "What about the mess outside? The family of the girl are still waiting. Lan Zhan." Lan Wangji paused at Wei Wuxian's last call, staring at the person beneath him who had ceased struggling. Under his gaze, he untied the ribbon from his forehead, tucking the hair that fell forward behind the ear, and said, "Wei Ying, wedding night."